Hey, and welcome to this episode. Today we have got, we should probably roll into other days here, quite epic adventure. Doing control arms, steering wheels, inner outer. We've got subframe bushings I've got to do, sway bar bushings. We'll go through the whole lot. I do have to do my struts front and rear, but we'll do that in another video, I think. But yeah, this we started this a couple of weeks ago. We did one control arm, but we found that the bolts were rusted there and on the knuckle. So I'd say one advice before you start, maybe check. And these things are expensive, you wouldn't think so, but I got these ones from the States. They're about $80 worth there, they're for both sides. In Canada it would have cost you probably like $80 just for that lot, so it's cheaper if I get them from the States. And yeah, longer ones go at the back there to your subframe. These ones go through your knuckle, but I would check them before you start. If they do look like there's going to strip, I had to cut mine out, grind, cut. Pain in the ass, but yeah, something to check before you even start, because you get it off, then you're gonna have to wait to get these. So maybe check that before you start. If they look good, then you're good, but if they look like they're just gonna crumble and strip, probably pre-order them. Yeah, well, I've already got the car jacked and stacked, so we'll get into that. We'll just start taking off the bits and pieces. Pretty much there's a lot of other good videos out there just concentrating on subframes and other things. This is more to show you kind of the problems you'll run into, like with strip bolts and that, which I seem to be finding in that, cutting them out and going through the whole process. So yeah, let's get into it. So I've already done the control arm on this side, so I'm just going to take the nut out to release the control arm off the knuckle, then that way I can start working on the subframe. The other side I haven't done anything, so I'll have to see how we go there. Might have to cut the nuts and bolts off again. So, and if I'm doing that, I'll be taking the caliper off, everything, so I can get in here. But yeah, like I said, this side we're just going to take this off, and the steering control link on the other side. Yeah, I'll show you. There's your steering. We'll just take that off on this side and that. Okay, so first thing we have to do, you'll have to take off the sway bar link. So this uses in the center there, a T40 star drive, or the Tox, I think they call it here, Tox. I just call it star drive because it looks like star. There, and a 90mm ring spanner, take that off, and then you'll have this bolt here, nut bolt, take off the knuckle, and then I'll release the control arm, and then I'll jump on the other side. So this is the new side that I've done, all the parts I put in new. The other side doesn't have a star drive on the older, and I had to just cut it off. It was rusted up. It uses two wrenches, one on the back and one on the front. We'll show you that when I get to that side. But that pretty much, once I get that lower knuckle bolt off, that'll release this side, and then we'll jump on the other side and see what I have to deal with. Say last couple of weeks ago I had to cut the lower control arm rear nut bolt off. It was rusted off, and same with the knuckle. That was just stripped. I had to hammer a socket on there and get it undone, so we'll see what we have to deal with on the other side. But yeah, it's pretty simple on this side. The other side might be a little trickier. Okay, on the driver's side, which I haven't done yet anything, I'm going to actually take the brake caliper off to give me more access to the knuckle bolt. And I'll probably take the steering link off here. So I've got to get, actually I don't have to get that one off this time because I'm going to drop the whole subframe. So But yeah, so you can see these older links don't have the star drive in the middle. So let's see if that one comes off with the wrenches. Not, I'll just cut off at the back with the cutting disc. I did the same for the bottom when I did it. But anyway, we'll get this off. This uses a 19 socket. Take her off. And if you are taking your caliper off, just make up a little hook like that. It just hooks in to your strut there and through the hole, and just holds your caliper up without damaging any of the lines. So yeah, it'll be this off, and then that'll give us better access to the knuckle bolt underneath there. Okay, we've got the knuckle bolt from down the bottom here out pretty easy. So it's a 14 socket ring spanner. I wasn't too worried about damaging this one because I've got replacement. Gonna put a new one in. So I just hammered on the end of the nut, but if you do that, you will round it off, probably damage it. You're probably best if you want to keep it, use a punch and just hammer in the center of the actual bolt, and you'll get it out. A little stiff when they first come out. It can come out for a while. So this thing's done about 140 kilometers, 140,000 kilometers. So they've been in there a while. None of this stuff's been done before, but we got that off. I'll just see if I can. You kind of want to spray it. I don't know if you can see it. You got a little split in there. You just want to see if you can get a screwdriver or something in there, some kind of wedge bar, and just kind of spread it if you can. Again, I'm not too worried about damaging the control arm and replacing it, so I might just smack it. Put my cold chisel in here and just smack down on the control arm and knock it down now. We'll spray a bit of WD-40 in there just to help it. Yeah, once we get that off, then we'll get this sway bar link off, and that will release anything connected to the subframe there, and we can start working on taking that off. Okay, so this is quite stuck, this one. I'm not going to piss around with it, it's kind of stripping. So I'm just going to take cutting disc and cut the actual bolt through at the back there with the cutting disc. It's just easier. I'm replacing it, so I'm not too worried. Just cut it, get it off. That's kind of the lesson I learnt from the other side. Spend all day trying to get it off. Easy just to cut it, get rid of it if you're replacing it. So we'll get that off, and then that will release everything, and I can start working on taking the subframe off. Okay, so everything's pretty done. I got that off. If you're replacing your struts anyway, you don't have to be that nice to it, which I am. But you can tuck in there and kind of, you can see I kind of nicked it there a bit, but that wouldn't even hurt it, even if you were leaving your struts in there. Okay, so I've got to take off. Just look at this side. It's pretty much the same on the other side. Don't need to take that off. That's connected to your control arm. That's all dropping down. I believe it's, we take this and this off. This is a separate, it'll come away by itself. So we'll take those two off, and that, same on the other side. We'll get that out of the way. And then, not too sure if these middle ones are connected. I think they are. This is connected to the engine kind of brace in here. I'll take that off. I think it's these two as well in the middle, and then there's two at the front. The jack's right under it right now. I'll put a jack stand under that there, so I can get that down later, but I'll leave for now. I'm going to leave it there. Okay, so these were 18mm bolts. So that's one of the main ones that connect into the subframe bushing, and then these other two are just small ones that hold this little bit of the subframe up. You definitely want to use an impact driver. There are no nuts outside of this. Basically, you just put it straight on. But you want to try and get as high as you can. This just works, and then I have to use a socket to get it off, but it works. We'll get the other three off, and I think I have to take at least. I think I have to take this bushing that connects to the bushing brace that connects to the engine. Take that off. I think they might have a nut. I have to check these. These might have nuts on the other side, which might be a little tricky, but I'll get onto those after I get this off. And then it should just be the two at the front. So once I get getting these two off, I'll put a jack stand under this end, because I figure it'll have a little bit of weight in it. So when I do drop the front, at least I can kind of control it a little bit, hopefully. Okay, so we took that smaller subframe brace off. I loosened this engine kind of bushing mount thing here. So what you have to take off here, the last ones at the back here, are these two. These connect to the steering, power steering brace, basically, that hold your steering links in. You should be right, shouldn't move that much when you take it off, because you've still got this kind of helping to hold it up. But it's the trickiest one, because you have to get a 21mm on the nut on the top, which sits in between the sway bar and your CV, I think there. Oh no, your steering link. So you've got to kind of get that in. You can come in from the top, and then yeah, try and get your impact on here. You can use a socket. I use a socket on that side. The bolts are a little stiff, but just because my jack stands are low, took those off by hand rather than the impact. Okay, so I kind of have trouble getting those off. I don't know what size they are. I thought they were 14, but they're not coming off. But you do have this exhaust mount here to take off. Let's just see what those are. I think they're going to go on there anyway. They look like 10s or 12s, but yeah, you've got to take this off as well. It's connected to the subframe there. And you will have to take this other nut off here to get this engine mount off, because yeah, you just got to slide it out, bring it out of there, and it should all be good. So these stupid bolts here that connect to the rack and pinion, your steering control there, just strip. They're the stupidest bolts ever. You can't get them loose at the top. They're pretty hard. I tried. So then I'm just gonna grind these off. I've ordered 2 more, and they're exactly the same. They're kind of stupid. They don't have enough meat there to actually connect to. So, but that's how it is. I'm just gonna grind these off so I can get this out, and I'm gonna do my bushings, and then we'll put those nut and bolts back in later. Okay, we got it off. Cut the other link off over there. Sway bar link. That one is there, the old guy. Rusted up. Yeah, definitely the rack and pinion, the steering things, because these should have come off easier. So I think I made a mistake on that one. I think they were lock nuts, but whatever. Live and learn. So hopefully that helps you. We'll have a look at the new ones when they come. Yeah, these should have come off. Just didn't understand how they came off. Again, couldn't find anything real easy on the internet to explain how they came off. But on hindsight, looking at them, I think they were a lock nut. So yeah, I'll do the bushings while this thing's off. Do the subframe bushings as well. We'll put that other control arm and one on that side. I've already done this one. Like I said, I did that a couple of weeks ago. But put the other one on the other side. I did have to take off. I took off the steering link nuts and that, just so I could get the sway bar over. You gotta hook it over and off. It's not too bad. This does have a bit of weight in it, so you do want some kind of jacks under it to help you. Yeah, let's keep working on this. Okay, I've tried different ways. I tried the socket way of just, I didn't have a 34 or 31. I even tried to go buy one, nothing in store. So the way I've side to do it. This is the upper side where the flanges are, where it's all folded out. So basically you just set the flange up until you fold it over, and then just smack it down and the thing collapses in till it's a small diameter and falls out. I did just smack the end here a little bit, but I'm going to just file that off. Should be good. But all else fails, that will work. Just basically fold that flange over, smack it over until you got enough, and then just basically I'm going to fold it over a bit more, even like that, and then just smack it over. Like I say, it folds in on itself. You can see there what we've done. Here's the flange. Just smack it over till you get enough, and then just start basically rolling it on itself. It will work if you've got nothing else. Okay, cleaned the holes out. Just used a wire brush. This one fills in there pretty good. The same one works in there. You just got to force it down, it just fits in there. Cleans it out. So I'm just going to clean my burrs off on the end there that I kind of accidentally smacked, and see if I can get the new ones in. Okay, so the pressing kit, pressing and removal, it's like a bearing slash bushing kit. It's like 140 Canadian, 139 plus change on Amazon. A little skepty. I'll put a link. Actually, it works really good. The only thing you got to really work out is the right size. They're all different sizes. The kind of outer side there that goes, or indented side, goes into these rings. You flip them around, just find the right one you need. Excuse me. And then I use this bigger, basically the biggest one you got. I use that. Oh, sorry, this one. It's got the coarse thread opposed to the finer thread, so I used the coarser one there. Did press them out. I got a little bit of roll. A little bit tricky on these ones because they stick through, so you just need to kind of work out a one that kind of fits without screwing up the outer bit here. But no, it worked really well. So now you've got to fuck around and try and get this in, because you've got to loop this part over the rack and pinion. It's just hanging in there, so I'm going to try and get that looped up and over. So I'm going to carry on and put this control arm on and do these bushings. I'm going to do these bushings first. It hopefully should be easy. Pop them off, get the new ones in, and then put this other control arm on. Do have to put a temporary bolt in there because I was still ordering those other ones, so I'll go ahead and take that one out actually and put the new one in. These were fairly easy, the control arms, other than me having to cut the one out on that side. But see if I can get this one off. It's really only the hard one. This one comes off with the impact, these two. And then this is the guy I had to cut out a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, we'll try and we'll do the control arms first, and then we'll do the bushings. This is pretty easy. Really, it's just taking the two bolts out here, and then taking this nut bolt through here off, and then just slotting the new one in. So nothing to that really. Okay, got the old one out, got the new one in. So we're going to use thread locker, even though these are lock nuts. We'll still put red thread locker on there. Same with the bottom ones. And then this guy here, he gets tightened up to 141 pounds per foot, and these guys are supposed to be 169. Which seems crazy tight, so I'll see if I can get them up to that. But yeah, So those that might just be a bit light. Actually, they'll align once you put those ones in. So get those tightened up. 141 pounds per foot and 169. Okay, so we've got that all done, all torqued up. So now we'll jump on to the sway bar bushings. One day she don't look that bad, but I'm just going to do them anyway because I already got the parts while I'm in here. That way I don't have to worry about if they do go bad or not. I say while I'm in here I'm just doing everything. Not going to miss a chance to get in here. It's way easier when this is off. Do a lot of things. Even the steering links that I got to do here. I can get right into them now. I can get them off a lot easier and get the bands that tighten the boot on around them again real easy. So I'll jump in and do those. Okay, we've got the bushings off. There is a little bit of difference, like when you is kind of clamped up, but yeah, they have worn a bit there, so not a huge amount but enough. So I'm just going to use dielectric grease, something basically synthetics that aren't going to damage the corrode the rubber or plastics. So since we use some electrics, gonna try that. Just chuck a bunch in there, clip them back on, and slide these back over, bolt it down. So we got torque specs. Doesn't seem to be very, I think it's only like 15 pounds, which sounds about right. So I'll tighten those up to that. Again, we'll put some thread locker. I'll put some red thread locker on these guys. We'll tighten them down, and then that should be that done. Okay, so we got the sway bar all back on there. So I'm pretty much done with that. So this is a nice thing too, without having the subframe in. You can easily get to your steering links, and you don't necessarily need a special tool like that because you're not trying to get into a tight spot. You can just use your wrench there, and it's got two flat sides on both sides. You can put it on and take it off. Yeah. So yeah, a lot easier to get in. So I'm just going to take this off, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do, putting the other one together. Okay, I got the old one off. So I just pulled it apart and took the boot off, but I put it all back to where it was. So basically I'm going to just put the new stuff there together, just kind of get it all lined up, and just mark. You can count, I think, the spin, the rotations as you take it off. I might see if I can just mark it with a Sharpie or something and get it back there. Might be the easiest. But yeah, as long as I get back to that length, I should be good, and then I'll get a steering alignment done when everything's back together. Okay, got that all together. Here's our old one. I'm going to get rid of that back there. Just going to chuck a bit of blue thread locker. So this doesn't need to be tight, pretty much just hand tight as much as you can, it seems to be what I can understand. Blue thread locker, because it doesn't need to be super tight. And then we'll slide the boot up, put that clamp back on, and then tighten this, or put this clamp back on here. Okay, let's just finishing off the last side part. Just one thing to remember is to put, when you're trying to, just use synthetic grease again, something that's not going to damage the boot. Non-petroleum. So again, synthetic, and then just chuck it all in there. I'll chuck some in and I'll show you. Okay, so I just chucked a bunch in there, just all around there, just to help it keep it lubed up. That should last the life of it. And just, yeah, make sure your boot's reseated. Again, I've just got to pick up some new clips, zip ties there, steel zip ties, and we'll put that on properly, but at least we've got these in. And like I say, we'll get the steering alignment done once everything's back in. Okay, so I got the replacement bolts for the rack and pinion. This has actually been 3 weeks later. Actually, no, it's almost 4 weeks, a month later. It took a long time.
States I could have got them faster, but somehow they take a lot longer in Canada. So that's what I was using, and this is actually the same strength bolt, so that wasn't a problem. Would have liked this if it was a lock nut. No, I like a lock nut, but it was not. But that thing held out for temporary use. This is a new guy, so you can see where I screwed up, just cutting the other one off. So I guess I had to knock this back because the whole thing's connected. I tried the ratchet, or the impact driver, sorry, on there, which isn't really anything on there. Kind of a weird setup, but I'm guessing I just kind of knocked that out, hooked that in, and then I'm going to use a red thread locker on it. Make sure it doesn't come off. Now the only torque spec I could find for this was a Nissan Maxima. Was 155 pounds, but there's more like this, like just a bolt and a nut. Seems like fairly tight specs, but I can't even get a, I mean, that thing won't even turn once it's locked in, or won't even spin in general. So I'm guessing you just kind of cinch that thing down fairly snug in between the red thread locker. As long as you've got it cinched up pretty good, it shouldn't go anywhere. It's pretty much what I did with this. Yeah, there's no way I can get a torque wrench into there. So I guess I'm just going to have to cinch that down as tight as I can. 155 is pretty tight, but again, that's off a Nissan Maxima, so. But similar small cars and so on, similar size rack and pinion. One thing I didn't state, I got the subframe, and the subframe torque specs for those bolts are around about 70 to 90 foot-pounds. And pretty much you don't really want to cinch those up too tight. You don't want to be stripping the thread or snapping one of those things off. You can imagine trying to get those out, so just be careful when you do your subframe bolts there. But yeah, got one out. I've got the other one, so I can get this one lined up, and then they are a bit annoying because I've got to get that wedged in between the, this will actually have to go in, I think, and then this will have to go up, and then thread locker on it, because you got the sway bar at this end right there. So yeah, it's a bit of a biatch to get into, so see if we can do it. Okay, let's see if we can show you how this is supposed to lock in. It should go up, then you've got that little slot. The thing just locks in that way, so the bolt doesn't actually spin. I mean, you can't, until you actually loosen it off, the thing won't actually rotate, but it's pretty tight at the top. I don't know if you might be able to see it. You have to get on, if you can see that, but you gotta put the nut in first, and then you're gonna have to start kind of threading it on. But see if we can get it started, and then we'll see where we're at. Okay, so pretty much leave it just hanging down. So because if you push that up, the nut's going to push up behind the sway bar, and you won't be able to get it there. So if you leave it sitting down and just tighten it up, and it kind of just, you'll keep it lined up, sorry, with the hole there where it's got a hook into, it'll slowly pull itself up. Pain in the ass, but that's the only way you can tighten it, because you can't spin this around. It doesn't look like. Not that I can see, unless that thing comes off. Let's check. Looks like it's all part of one casted, but that's the way I've been doing it. Just kind of leave that hanging down. How long did it start with? Did it finger tight as much as I could, and then it's a, what is it? It's a 21. It's a 14 down on that thing if you need one, but it's a 21 on the nut up here.
So just getting it in and just kind of having to flip it to one way, then flip the wrench over and do it the other way, just so it kind of still slots in. It slowly pulls itself up. It's slow, but it's getting there. And then yeah, once it locks in, pretty much going to crank down on this one as hard as we can. I've got the thread locker on it, so just I'll keep on going before it all dries up. But yeah, it's pretty much the way I'll be doing it. So okay, that's it, all cinched up. It pretty much pulls itself up, and since that's where you turn, it kind of locks itself in. I just had to do it as hand tight as I could. It's a real prick of a place to get into, but got one done. Gonna take a 5-minute break, and yeah, then I'll do the other one. But yeah, simple on how they kind of go in, but I would say that would have taken me 15 minutes to tighten that up with our ring spanner. Not using the ring spanner and just the open end, but it takes a while. But yeah, okay, that's that done. Yeah, I say there's no way you can torque that up properly. I can't see. Just do it as tight as you can. Between the thread lock and this system here, you should be good. Tweaking it up as tight as you can. I figured if you just wanted the part numbers. Okay, for that bolt there, that is the part number. Just try and block out the light. Yeah, there you go. That's a bit better, I think. Maybe. There you go. And the nut for it is there, whatever numbers correspond, but if you need them, yeah, so the 5, it's the number that starts with 5 is the part number for that one. 2 of each. Okay, I'm going to carry on, get the other one on. I think that's pretty much it. Okay, it's both of them done. They are quite a difficult nut bolt to do. I don't know if I'd ever would have got them off and that, because pretty much you're using the open end spanner wrench in there. You don't have a lot of room to work with. I mean, if you can get them started and get them moving, then there's a chance you're going to get them off, but you don't have to really do anything with these. There's nothing, they kind of self-lock in there. Even if you aren't doing them, they just kind of hit back, push it to the other side of the slot. But no, that's it. Like I said, I didn't torque those up to any spec. There's no way I could get in there. Your subframe bolts here, or not your bolts, what did I say, somewhere between 70 and 90 foot-pounds there. Yeah, don't over torque those, don't want to snap them. But yeah, I think that's everything on this now. This took a while on this one, just waiting for parts and so on, but hopefully that helps you. Like, subscribe, all those good things, and we'll catch you later.